There's been a few new massive tidbits of information regarding the FTX indictment. The Sam Bankman-Fried goes to jail for doing very bad things that, of course, a lot of companies in cryptocurrency have been outed for doing over the last year or so. And, of course, they've been operating prior to that and nobody's been looking. But as soon as people did start looking, it seems like a lot of these companies have been, performing very illegal activities. So firstly, Sam Bankman-Fried indicted on 4 new charges in criminal case. The CEO of the now bankrupt FTX exchange, which if you don't know, by the way, in the last year, you can basically point to any of these big hedge funds, exchanges, things like that. And there's like half of them missing because they went bankrupt. It was all a big contagion. They were all basically in bed with each other. Let me borrow some funds. I'll give you some funds. Oh, what about these funds over here? Oh, we're all performing illegal activities. Who'd have thought? And then, of course, when one went down, they owed a bunch of money to another one, which didn't have enough money to pay out their investors, which means they were insolvent. And then that one went down, and then that took another one down with it. And it all stems from, back when crypto was doing real well in November of 2021-ish, I think was the high. And then, of course, everything went down, and with it, a lot of these companies. And, of course, when a company goes bankrupt and then says, we don't have your money that we said we were holding for you and wasn't doing anything with, people then obviously report that to the law, and then it gets discovered that they were doing very naughty boy things. And Sam Bankman-Fried is one of these. 3AC, Luna, Celsius, FTX, the list goes on, right? So he was originally facing charges for wire fraud, securities fraud, money laundering, and of course campaign finance violations. Now US prosecutors have slapped him with 4 more charges, including conspiracy to operate an unlicensed money transmitting business and conspiracy to commit bank fraud. These are not things you want to be reading if you're Sam Bankman-Fried, of course. For everyone else, fuck this guy. Of course, if he is guilty, which I'm going to go out on a limb and say he probably is. And here we go. FTX's Singh pleads guilty as pressure mounts on Bankman-Fried. Now, Nishad Singh, the former director of engineering at now bankrupt cryptocurrency exchange FTX, pleaded guilty to US criminal charges on Tuesday and agreed to cooperate with prosecutors' investigation into FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried. He's fucked now, isn't he? Like, this is it. They've already got access to all the finances and everything. Now they've got the lead engineer turning on you that's going to essentially dob you in for all the things that you've done that he was witness to. He says, quote, "I'm unbelievably sorry for my role in all of this," Singh said, adding that he knew by mid-2022 that Bankman-Fried's hedge fund, Alameda Research, was borrowing FTX customer funds and customers were not aware, of course. Singh said that he would forfeit proceeds from the scheme. Very nice of you, Singh. I'm very glad that you're not keeping the illegal money that you obtained for performing illegal activities. So what this means, of course, is that FTX were taking user funds. They were saying, we'll hold on to your funds for you. You can trade them. You can do what you want. You can pull them out anytime that you want. But while they're on our system, what we'll do is transfer it to this other company that I own, Alameda Research, who is in a hedge fund, which means that they're obviously making large investments into things. And we'll use your money as a customer without your knowledge to make money for ourselves by investing in risky investments. And then when those risky investments don't pan out, we lose your money. We can't transfer it back to FTX and pay you out. So when the markets dip, we just basically lose all of your money, which you didn't know was tied up in risky investments. That's fraud. You're obviously not allowed to do this for the blatant reason that as soon as this goes wrong, you lose your money and you didn't even know you were really at risk. So Bankman-Fried's FTX founder pleaded not guilty to 8 criminal charges filed against him in December. Prosecutors say he stole billions in FTX customer funds to plug losses in Alameda. He has acknowledged inadequate risk management, but says he did not steal funds. Now, this will be a trick of language, right? He didn't steal the funds. He just misappropriately used it. That's probably what they'll go with. Singh, 27, pleaded guilty to 1 count of wire fraud, 3 counts of conspiracy to commit fraud, 1 count of conspiracy to commit money laundering, and 1 count of conspiracy to defraud the United States by violating campaign finance laws. He travelled back from the Bahamas, of course he did, shortly after FTX imploded in November, in part to assist the US investigation. Good on you, lad. You know, if you can get out of it, by throwing Bankman-Fried to the wolves. Might as well, fuck it, this is how these things go. Prosecutor Daniel Sassoon said at Tuesday's hearing he was released on a $250,000 bond. Bankman-Fried, 30, now faces 12 criminal charges after prosecutors unsealed a new indictment against him last week. A spokesman for Bankman-Fried declined to comment. Singh is the third Bankman-Fried close associate to plead guilty and cooperate with the probe. He's definitely getting probed, mate. He's 3 people and all the finances. He's 100% getting probed. I think he'll be real probed out by the end of this. Caroline Ellison, who was Almeida's chief executive, and Gary Wang, who was FTX chief technology officer, pleaded guilty in December to 7 and 4 criminal charges, respectively. He wants to do everything he can to make things right for victims, including assisting the government to the best of his ability, Singh's lawyers, Andrew Goldstein and Russell Capone, unfortunate name for a lawyer, I guess, said in a statement. Separately, on Tuesday, the US Securities and Exchange Commission and the Commodities Future Trading Commission filed civil lawsuits against Singh. Straw donors. Bankman-Fried rode a boom in the values of Bitcoin and other digital assets to amass an estimated $26 billion net worth and become an influential US political donor. You got 26 billion, mate. Just fucking leave. What are you still doing there? Why are you giving money to politicians? Just leave. Singh also became a major donor to Democratic politicians, contributing $8 million to campaigns in the 2022 election cycle, according to Open Secrets. In the new charges filed last week, prosecutors said Bankman-Fried conspired with 2 other former FTX executives to donate tens of millions of dollars to influence lawmakers to pass legislation favorable to the company. I mean, all companies do this, so all big corporations do this. I'm not really going to get too bent out of shape on that one. The donations were legal because they were made with straw donors or corporate funds, prosecutors said. So yeah, they've got you on a technicality there. Everybody knows that people are handing money behind the scenes, whether or not it's illegal or not. I don't know, it depends where you are, I guess, to try and get things the way that they want them. They said Bankman-Fried directed another FTX executive identified as CC1 to donate more than $21 million to a pro-LGBT group. Federal Election Commission records show that Singh contributed $1.1 million on July 7th to the LGBTQ Victory Fund, a national organization dedicated to electing openly LGBTQ people. Singh said in court that he agreed in 2022 to make political donations in his own name that were funded in part by transfers from Alameda without providing details of the donations. He said that while he agreed with the political leanings of those he donated to, he did not select the candidates. So, of course, Alameda's funds were partially FTX's funds, which were customer funds. So they were taking funds from customers that thought that there were funds locked in FTX and using those funds to donate to politics. Like, whatever your opinion is of what political organizations or leanings they were donating towards, you shouldn't be doing that with other people's money, should you? That's, unreasonable, I'd say. Singh was a close friend of Bankman-Fried's younger brother in high school. Bankman-Fried wrote in a deleted blog post, and then, of course, they've got the blog post there, which we're not going to read. Today's guilty plea underscores once again that the crimes at FTX were vast in scope and consequence. Damian Williams, the top federal prosecutor in Manhattan, said in a statement. They rocked our financial markets with a multi-billion-dollar fraud, and they corrupted our politics with tens of millions of dollars in illegal straw campaign contributions. So yeah, this guy, I don't see any way he doesn't get wrecked for this, because they're obviously going real hard because of the political angle. And on top of that, you can't escape from scrutiny when there's tens of billions of dollars involved. You just can't, especially because FTX was so high profile that high profile people also lost money in this. You've got to think that FTX was on national TV. They were everywhere. They had adverts with some of the biggest stars in the world. There's no way you escape when you're doing... This is what I don't understand about greed, I guess. But when you're at that level, you can earn loads of money just by being legit. But of course, it doesn't change the fact that you were probably not legit leading up to that point. It's just like, why are you still making those mistakes when you could just play it by the book, earn all the money, and then just fuck off and retire? Instead, you've got to do illegal things and then lose everybody's money and, of course, go to prison, I think is the end result here. So there you go. We'll keep up to date with the Sam Bankman-Fried in the FTX situation, as well as all the other ones, because everyone's going to prison. Good times, good times. Couldn't happen to nicer people. Do love a good bit of Schadenfreude off of the crypto investment scandals and schemes, which is what 99% of the industry is. So there you go. Thanks. See you next time.